This Vietnamese beef stir fry will satisfy all your cravings. You're gonna love it. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, a home cook bringing you simply delicious food ideas. We love Vietnamese food. I especially love the sweet and savory and spicy and tangy. It just all goes together so well. And today we're using garlic and chilies and lemongrass to flavor our beef. Lemongrass is super fragrant. It kind of smells like lemon and grass. Because groceries continue to be pretty expensive these days, I am always looking for a good sale, especially on meat. But no matter how you look at it, it is still way cheaper than dining out. Starting off with about a pound of flank steak, and you can use whatever you have on sale or can find on sale. But I really like flank steak for Asian cooking because of the marbling in the meat, and I can slice it against the grain for sure because you can see the grains right on the steak. And it's easy to cut into thin slices. See, look at how much there is when you cut it all up. That will feed your whole family. Starting with, I guess, 2.5 cloves of garlic, or however much you want to use is totally up to you. I'll be using my mortar and pestle today because I think that when you pound the lemongrass and the garlic, you're going to get a lot more flavor out of it. But if you don't have a mortar and pestle, you don't have to. Just finely chop all of the ingredients here. Just chopping this down a little bit so that when I put it in the mortar pestle, it will be easier to crush. All right, that's good. Transferring that into my mortar pestle. If you are chopping it by hand, maybe mince it a little bit more. I'm using 5 little stalks of lemongrass. Usually in the stores you can get bigger ones, and we're looking for about 2 to 3 tablespoons worth. For lemongrass, you're only using the bottom tender parts. So for these little ones, I'm only using about this much from the bottom. Because otherwise it gets kind of woody in here, and then it's really hard to eat. Oh my goodness, the smell is so yummy smelling. It's like very lemony. Again, if you're not using a mortar pestle, I would suggest just mincing it quite finely. Okay, so that's about 2 tablespoons worth. Okay, we're going to save about a teaspoon to use in our dipping sauce, and the rest is going into the beef. Okay, adding a tablespoon of oyster sauce. And if you don't have oyster sauce, you can use soy sauce. Oyster sauce just adds an extra layer of flavor. Also using about a tablespoon of fish sauce. A tablespoon of sugar, because this particular fish sauce is a little bit saltier, so I am using the sugar to help balance out that flavor. And about a teaspoon of cooking oil. Whatever cooking oil you're using, I'm using avocado oil. And give that a stir. I wish you can smell the lemongrass and garlic paste. It was so incredibly fragrant. And I'm not sure you can get that kind of fragrance if you were to just mince and chop it up. Pounding it and using the mortar pestle really does bring out more. I'm going to set this aside to marinate while we prepare the remaining ingredients. Next, we're going to prepare our noodles, and I'm using dried rice vermicelli noodles. And these I'm going to add warm water and let it soak for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to cook them in boiling water for about a minute or so. Make sure all the noodles are submerged. All right, once the noodles are submerged in the hot water, we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. Next, we're making our dipping sauce. So I have half a cup of warm to hot water, and it needs to be hot or warm because I want to dissolve the sugar. So I'm adding a 1/4 cup of sugar. Just give that a stir until the sugar dissolves. We also need a 1/4 cup of lime juice. And I find that if you roll your limes on the counter before you cut into them, they're actually juicier. And if your limes are warm, they're actually more juicy than if they came out of the fridge as well. But the limes we get here are ridiculously dry. Good thing I rolled it. Maybe no juice would have come out otherwise. All right, that was a whole 2 tablespoons. It's not bad. That's why I have 2 limes here. Oh, this one's better. Maybe. This one looks like there's a little bit more. I'm just going to use all of it. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. And you might want to adjust this depending on your brand of fish sauce. Just in case it's too strong, not strong enough, you can adjust it as you'd like. Okay, adding that teaspoon of leftover lemongrass and garlic paste. Stir that in. Now I'm going to chop up a chili to put in the sauce, but you totally don't have to do this if you don't want it spicy. We're just going to add a little bit, maybe just half of it. It also adds a pop of color and flavor. Make sure you wash your hands immediately after touching that chili though, and don't touch your face. When you have all of your ingredients ready to go and you're ready to fry up the beef, we will turn the stove on to a medium high. We're using a cast iron pan today. You can use a wok, you can use a frying pan, whatever you have. I'm sure will be great. Once your pan is hot, add a tablespoon of cooking oil. I'm using avocado oil today. And we're going to cook the beef half at a time. Okay, adding half the beef. Wow, the cat is super noisy today. And we want to fry this up in 1 layer to get a good sear on the meat before flipping it over and stirring it around. Okay, I'm going to remove this and do the second batch. Adding another tablespoon of cooking oil. We also want all of this moisture to kind of cook off and evaporate, and then you'll get a really nice sear on the other side. Right, turning off the heat. I wish you guys could smell this. It is so fragrant. Smells so delicious. Another thing I love about Vietnamese food is that they use so many fresh vegetables and herbs to make everything super fresh and fragrant and delicious. So I have my vermicelli noodles that I had soaked. I blanched them for about 30 seconds and they are perfect right now. I just spread a little bit out on a plate. And when you're serving, you can kind of just give everyone a plate of noodles and everyone can just add their things to it. But I'll show you how I'm gonna plate this. So I have some shredded lettuce. And some cucumbers. We're going to top it with the beef. Also have some cilantro leaves. And some Thai basil. You can just rip up some of these leaves. And if you want, you can add some green onions. Mint will also work really well. And if you're daring, you can add some chilies. I'm also adding some fried shallots that you can buy. And you'll just serve with a little bit of dipping sauce. I'm just going to pour a little bit over top, and then you can also serve some on the side so that they can add more if they want. The sauce also will help to separate the noodles as you eat it. Are you all ready for the taste?
Dude, this is the taste. Oh, so much great fragrance here. And it's amazing what you can do at home with the ingredients that you can readily get and get so much of the flavors that you would get in the restaurant. When it's time to celebrate, go to the restaurant, support local, but when you want to eat this kind of food more often, make it at home. Eat lots of it. I'm gonna drizzle some more sauce because that's just me. Oh yeah. And this piece is calling out to me. Yeah. Oh, so fragrant, aromatic. Tender beef. Lots of that marinade coming through. So much good flavor. All right, gonna get a nice piece of meat here, combine it with some greens and the vermicelli, the nok cham, the dipping sauce. Oh, what a great contrast. Oh, what flavor explosion. You get the umami of the beef and the freshness of the greens with the acidic punch of the dipping sauce, the nok cham. Together, it's just so much flavor. It's awesome. So good.
Great, thanks, Steve. I hope you found that as easy to make as it was for me to do it. For this recipe, you can find it on my website. Check out flolum.com.